guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. Now I've read, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books this month. I picked out 3 originally because I didn't think I was going to get through more than 3. And I ended up picking out 2 more afterwards using a number random generator on my phone through my fall horror and thriller / supernatural TBR list. So I'm going to tell you what I thought about these books. I'm going to go in order on how I read them, I guess. Because it's simpler that way. First is Mr. Tender's Girl by Carter Wilson. At 14, Alice Hill was viciously attacked by 2 of her classmates and left to die. The teens claimed she was a sacrifice for a man called Mr. Tender. But that could never be true. Mr. Tender doesn't exist. His sinister character is pop culture fiction, created by Alice's own father in a series of popular graphic novels. Over a decade later, Alice has changed her name and is trying to heal. But someone is watching her. They know more about Alice than any stranger could. Her scars, her fears, and the secrets she keeps locked away. She can try to escape her past, but Mr. Tender is never far behind. He will come with a smile that seduces and a dark whisper in her ear. It's inspired by a true story. It was very easy to read, which I was surprised about. Most times when I read books, it's not easy to read. For me, at least, because I am a slow reader, so it takes time for me to read. But this, I had already began it before August, so I was somewhere in like the beginning area of the book, like right around here. And it was a good book. I did not expect the ending. Throughout the book, you're trying to figure out who a certain person is and why he's doing the things he's doing. And it's really interesting, and it's captivating in some measures, but there were still some parts that were a little bit boring, and I had to kind of push through. It was only like a page or 2 that was boring each time, but it was still, I get bored very quickly, like super quickly. So I have to be entertained almost all the time, basically, and that's why I multitask as much as I do. It was still a good book. There are some sensitive topics in this book that I want people to be aware of, so you should look them up before you read this book. One of them is suicide. I'm going to probably get demonetized for that, although I'm not monetized right now as is. Cutting is another one, and obviously attempted murder is one of them, I guess, and actual death is in it. So I would advise to be careful if you're sensitive to those topics. I can't remember if there's any other ones in it, but it's good. It's a good book. I'll Be the One by Lyla Lee. This one I was already like more than halfway through the book when I started it in August again. And it's really good. It's like another easy to read. Most of these books are easy to read except for maybe Parasite. Fat girls can't dance, shouldn't wear bright colors, shouldn't call attention to themselves. But Sky dreams of joining the glittering, intense world of K-pop, and to do that, she's about to break all the rules that society, the media, and even her own mother have set for her girls like her. When Sky nails her audition in an internationally televised competition looking for the next K-pop star, she's immediately swept into a whirlwind of countless practices, shocking performances, and the drama that comes with reality TV. What she doesn't count on are the highly fat-phobic beauty standards of the Korean entertainment industry, or her sudden media fame and scrutiny. That's all I'm going to read to you. It was a good book. I liked it a lot. It definitely inspires you a little bit because the character obviously is not skinny. She's a little bit thicker on the thicker end of the spectrum. And it encourages you to do what you want to do no matter what people say that you can't do. For example, if you are thicker, like I'm a thicker girl, but you can't tell from face here, but I am down here. I'm not very thick, but I'm a thicker in weight than I should be for a healthy lifestyle. And they basically tell you to not let that hold you back from doing the things you love and want to do. And it was very easy to read. I got through it pretty quickly, actually. Like I said, I was a little bit more than halfway through the book, and I read it within the night. It was good. I liked it a lot. I added Lyla Lee onto my Amazon, and I put some of her books onto my Amazon wish list so that I can read more of her book, because it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. And I liked it a lot. So, the ending was okay. I don't remember much of the ending because I kind of skipped through it after that. Because after the competition, it's just like, I don't care about what happened next. to be honest with you. And it's the same thing with this. Mr. Tender's Girl ended very oddly. Like, I didn't care for the ending very much. I thought it was like, that doesn't fill me in about what's going to happen next or what's in the future for this character. And this one, I just didn't care. Because all I cared about was the competition. So, I skipped through most of the ending. And I read some of the ending, but I skipped through most of it, to be completely honest. Parasite by Mira Grant. This book, let me tell you, I didn't begin it at all. Well, I did. It was like a page or two in that I began. I reread the page or two. It doesn't have a description on the back, so I'm just going to try to remember what it's about to tell you about it. It's about a worm that's inside of the characters in this world that helps give them medication and antiviral and all that jazz to make them healthier without actually having to need those medications to make them healthier. And the worms go awry. They turn on people, basically. So it's an interesting book. I don't want to tell you any more than that because I don't want to spoil anything without realizing and spoiling it. Because this book, it was slow burn at the beginning. Like, things happened at the beginning, but they only happened for a page or two, and I was like, okay, what happens next? What more is going to happen? I need to know more. And it doesn't happen right away. So it's a bit of a slow burn at the beginning. And that sucks for me because, like I mentioned before, I get bored super easily. So I had to really, like, stay in this book. And I even did a reading vlog where I mentioned that I was going to probably DNF the book because I was just getting so bored quickly. And I was waiting for things to happen and things were just not happening. I didn't DNF the book. I finished it. And I liked it. I liked the ending a lot. I predicted what happened in the end. I did. Because it kind of cues you in a little bit throughout the book that it's going to happen. There's 2 more books after this, and I plan on getting the second book, which I think is called Symbiont? Something like that. So I plan on getting the second book eventually. It's on my Amazon wish list. I think it's a little bit less pages, a little bit more pages. It's one of the two than this one. But this was a good book, especially if you like worms, parasites, stuff like that, basically. Stuff that is inside your body and that can do stuff to you. For my first random generator book, I picked Zomb by Darren Shan? I still don't know how to pronounce that name. And let me read you a little bit. Oh, I even wrote notes. Alright, B's father thinks it's a hoax, but even if it isn't, the two of them joke. It's only the Irish, right? That is until zombies actually attack the school. B is forced on a mad dash through the serpentine corridors of high school, making making relationships. I can't say the word, I'm sorry. With anyone with enough gall to fight off the pursuers. But they come face to face with the ravenous, oozing corpses. All bets are off. There are no friends, no allies, just whatever it takes to survive. Now, I'm going to give you a little spoiler. It's not a big spoiler, as you know, because you can tell there's zombies in it. The zombies only appear in the prologue, and then it takes a while before they reappear again. Like, quite a bit through the book to reappear again. And that's upsetting for me because I love zombie books and I read them for the zombies. And so throughout a good chunk of the book, it's just the main character's point of view in life, etc., what they do in everyday life at school, outside of school, and etc. And it's a little bit interesting. It's different from what you normally think a typical teenager would be doing. I just didn't care. But I read through it, and I put the second book on my wish list also because I want to know what happens afterwards. Because the ending actually had me hooked. That's the first for me saying that throughout these books, isn't it? But it actually had me hooked. I wanted to know what happened next, and it kind of leaves you on a hanger. Just to give you a warning, it leaves you a little bit on a hanger. Let's see. It's easy to read with the pictures, but there's, like I said, no zombies suffered in the prologue until the last quarter of the book. There's also a twist in the end that utterly shocked me. It did. That I had to read the sentence a couple of times. It left me stumped and thinking back on the book. And it did. I can't tell you what it is because it will leave you stumped too. And you'll be like, what? I had to read the sentence a good couple of times. I was like, this is not happening. This is not true. No, because I thought it was this the entire time. No, it switches on you. You don't even know it, but it does. It switches on you. But it was a good book once it gets to zombies, and I'm presuming that throughout the rest of the series, which I know there's quite a few other books attached to the series, there's gonna be more zombies in it, and hopefully it's not gonna take all the way to the quarter of the end of the book to get to them, hopefully. But I want to see, it was easy to read. As you can see, it's thin, it's not many pages, and there's pictures in it, so hopefully it'll be the same with the second book too. Now for the last book. This would be Paradise Book 2. I'm not gonna read you the back because I don't want to spoil the first book. Book 2 was great. I already had read majority of the book before I got to it, so when it picked this book, I was like, well, that's gonna be simple to read through. And I had a week left before this video would be I'd be making this video particularly, so I was like, I could probably pick another book, but I probably don't read it fast enough depending what the book is. But this was picked by my random generator, number generator also, and I was very happy that I picked it because it's another zombie book, and the last zombie book got me into zombies, and I was like, now I want to read more zombie books, and it happened to pick this book, and I was so happy because it's a zombie book also. It's really good. It was easy to read, like I mentioned with all the others. Things happen in this book that will leave you a little bit shocked, like you're surprised that that's the outcome of what's happening. Like, I wasn't expecting the character to be who the character was. Don't want to spoil anything without realizing it was the character what part they were playing in it. And obviously there's sensitive topics in this book. Death is one of them. Obviously it's a zombie book. And that's the same with Zombie also. There's death in that book too. There's also death in Parasite. So be careful if you don't care for the sensitive topic of death. But there's obviously death in this book because there's zombies in it. You can't have a zombie book without having some death in it. But and what else? What other sensitive topics was there? There's mention of drugs in it, just to give you a warning about that too. I guess that's another sensitive topic for some people. So this was a good book. I advise reading the first one first, obviously. First one was really good. I put the third one onto my wish list on Amazon. And you can read this book series on Wattpad to give you a warning. So you don't have to pay for the book. I would advise paying for the book for 1 to 3 reasons. 1 to 3 reasons apparently. First one, you're supporting the author by purchasing the book. Secondly, there's edits in the book that will make it better than it actually is on Wattpad. And thirdly, there's extra stuff in the book than there is on Wattpad. At least that's what I read in one of her descriptions when she was talking about the books. So I would advise, I think it's a she, by the way. I don't know, it doesn't, is there a picture in the back? Yeah, it's a female. It says her. So I would definitely advise reading the first book. It is such a good zombie series in my opinion. And the third one is the last one, so I need to grab that when I can. And they're not that expensive. They're below $15 each, I think. I think I only paid $11 for both the first book and the second book. And then, tax and shipping, so it was probably more than $15. But it was a good book series. I definitely advise you reading this book series. That is all the books that I read in August. Not a lot, not compared to what a lot of people read on BookTube. I told you I'm a slow reader, but I also don't binge read a lot. I give myself about an hour and a half to read each night, and that's if I get to do that, because at night I have a lot of things I have to do, like make lunch for my husband, make coffee for the next day, let the dogs out, feed the dogs, give them water, give cats food, all that jazz, all the normal stuff you have to do during the day when you have pets and a husband. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.